That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, everybody. We made it. We made it. Oh, it's good to see everybody. Good to see. Let me get my volumes right here. Oh, my gosh. Listen, I tell everybody all the time on this show, all the time. One of the key themes to this show, every time we discuss anything big picture for Notre Dame, I always say, nothing with Notre Dame is black and white. Nothing. Nothing that ever happens to Notre Dame is black and white. We all agree on it. You know, this is clearly good and on the right path and we love it. Or this clearly sucks and we need to go another direction. Nothing ever is like that with Notre Dame. Nothing is ever that obvious for Notre Dame. Even in a win or a loss, nobody can agree what parts are good and what is bad. This game had it all. This game absolutely had it all. And here's the thing. Imagine how fun this game would be if you really didn't care who was going to win. Like if you're a casual football fan and that was your day, what a great ball game. Not if you're us. I aged more than a two-term president in this affair. Oh, it's good to see everybody. Pat, good morning to you. Nick Dean, crazy boy. Roy boy. Oh, my gosh. Any expected timeline on Hartman making a decision? Yeah, apparently any minute. Last night they put on the, what is it? What do they call it? The prediction, whatever it's going to be, the crystal ball was for him. Tom Lloyd did it, and he's the big boy. And he had Hartman to Notre Dame. That should be coming soon. That should be coming soon. Drunk Vigo, good to see you. Drunk's here. Jeremy Welling. Buckner cleans up a few things, and the kid will be dangerous. We got a lot to go over. So here's what we're going to do. Yeah, Craig, we're still alive. We made it. And apparently none of you are too hungover to join me in the morning. Lawrence, good to see you, Lawrence. Apparently nobody's too hungover to join me. So that's good. Nobody's too hungover. That's tomorrow, right? By the way, if anybody wants to, we could talk about the playoff games. You could bring those up. You know me, I'm all TCU. What is this, that poison horn frog? Whatever that is, that's me today, baby. Whatever it takes. I don't care what it takes. Michigan's getting too close to a championship. And I don't like it. Schedule a bunch of high schools in the non-conference, play 10 nobodies in the Big Ten, play 1 game and a half, and they're close to the title. And I don't like it. It's too close. Anyways, we could talk about that if you want to. Anybody that went to the ball game, let me know how that went. Let's get through the introductions, a couple of the chats, and then listen. All right. The call-in log is swamped. We have a lot of people that want to talk. Here's what that's going to mean, okay? Once I get done doing my thing, obviously I want to give you your time. You shouldn't just have to sit there and listen to us talk all the time. I want to give you your time. We have a lot of people on the phone call. So what that means is everybody's going to have to go quicker than we usually go. Busy day, got stuff to do. Everybody that usually calls, you need to understand that. We're going to go a little faster when we have a lot of people so I could get more in. Okay, so everybody's only going to get a couple minutes like a regular call-in show. So sum up your main points because we're going to have to get a little tighter to give more people a chance. Yeah, what's Beamer ball? That's what I want to know. Shane Beamer is a wiener. What a little baby. What is he crying about? Getting in there, I think the refs were all bad and made a bunch of bad calls. Yeah, against Notre Dame. What is he talking about? Seriously, what is Shane Beamer crying about? The circus touchdown catch where his guy kicked up the white, which is out of bounds, and they allowed it? Is that what he's crying about? Why is he being such a whiny little baby? He looked like a 12-year-old on the sidelines. Ooh, what a baby. What is his problem? Seriously, Beamer is a wiener. I used to like the guy, but looking at him crying all night. And then afterwards, you got to be kidding. Afterwards, Shane Beamer wants to get up there and complain about the refs and all that. On their biggest play of the game, the only thing they did good the whole second half, basically. I don't understand what there isn't to see. The guy's foot is blurred across the line. And then the chalk that kicks up is white. The white is out of bounds. And then they allow that. And then and then Beamer's up there complaining about the refs. The only good thing they did on offense the whole second half was because of the refs. What is that guy's problem? Now, the blindside block thing, here's the deal. The blindside block thing, the refs made the right call. It's just a soft call. I hate the rule. Good call, but it shouldn't be a rule. That's been a beautiful block in the history of college football forever. Forever. So, right call. I just think that it's a weak thing to have in the rules. If you clip a guy, not clip, but like hit a guy on a clean blindside block, good for you. Good for you. So right call, hate the rule. That's different. Right call, hate the rule. All right, let's get through my introduction, a couple of my bullet points, and then we'll get to some of the chats I starred, and then we'll get to the phone calls. Keep in mind, everybody, couple minutes, wrap it up, your main points. And that's a good sign. We're getting like a real radio show where there's a lot of people that want to talk. I want to give people a chance, move them in and out. One wandering data geek. Good to see you, Johnny boy. Happy New Year. This team is a playoff team with Hartman, Sean Dwyer. Here's the deal. And Kevin, ND Rules, good to see you as well. My thoughts are with you. I'm sure the holidays were kind of weird for you, thinking of you guys in Canada there. So, yeah, this team's a playoff team with Hartman. That's the other big part of this, folks. That's the other big part of this. No matter what you think, no matter what you think of Tyler Buckner and his performance yesterday, okay? No, let's see. I'm trying to keep up with these chats. It's good. We got a lot of action going on. Here's the deal with the Buckner dynamic. Whatever you think of him yesterday, good, bad, clutch, big time fail, we got a little bit of everything. On the plus side and the bad side, we got everything from Buckner, the full gamut. Just like good to bad and the extremes, we got it all yesterday, which is about what you should expect of a guy that hasn't played in almost 3 months, right? But my overall point is, regardless of what you think of Buckner last night, who has money on him beating Hartman in a quarterback contest next year? If that's the way this goes, Tom Loy, right after our game, put all the crystal balls in for Hartman to the Irish and all that. If that happens, in what world does anybody see Tyler Buckner beating Al Hartman for that job next year? And I'm not saying I'm not trying to cause a problem. I'm honestly asking, with Hartman's body of work, 8,000 yards, 77 touchdowns the past couple of years, the number one pro football focused wins above replacement player, not just quarterback player in the last 2 years in college football. How in the hell is Tyler Buckner going to go in there and beat this guy in a quarterback competition? I just don't see it happening. And that's where I think this gets really interesting as far as where this goes next. I don't know where that places Buckner. If he's behind Hartman, and then the next year you have Minchie on year 2 and then Carr, I don't know what's going to happen then. And I don't know how that all shakes out. And it's frustrating for Buckner with his injury. He should be further along the developmental path. We saw a lot of areas where he's behind in development yesterday. You saw some of those mistakes that are experience-based. Some of that kind of stuff. Like, it's just all over the board, and it's rough. Andrew Gilmore, Buckner did prove there's a ton of upside. Maybe he matures with more reps. Plus, Buckner knows the playbook. He will start with an advantage in the spring. He showed he has a ton of upside. So does Hartman with 6 years of experience, 8,000 yards and 77 touchdowns. Maybe he matures with more reps. What reps? What reps? I'm telling you, if it's Hartman Buckner, there goes the reps. They're going to Hartman. Like, I'm just telling you. I'm just going down the path here and trying to figure out how this is going to play out. It's super interesting. All right, let's get through my introduction, a couple of my notes, and I want to get to the calls because I know you guys are waiting. So that's one thing that needs to be talked about, and it's super interesting to me is that dynamic. It's coming down the road fast. All right, YouTube, obviously you're there. Hit subscribe if you haven't yet. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps me as well. You're all in the chat. Go ahead and hit a thumbs up. It won't hurt your thumb. You're right there. Notifications on. You'll be alerted every time a new episode drops. Twitter, search bar Always Irish Rat. Always Irish Inc. Emails alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only anywhere you want me. You can get me calling line 312-900-8815. Fighting Irish Wire. Tune in. Make it a part of your daily Notre Dame routine. New articles out every day. Okay. First things first, as we get into this. New Year's Eve and all that. I'm not doing all these parties and going out. Nope. Too old, not interested, not doing it. Anybody who does, don't drink and drive. Big mistake, especially tonight. They're looking for you. All right, that's the deal. Seen too many lives ruined, families destroyed, personally and professionally, from drinking and driving. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. I'm not telling you not to drink. Just get wasted at home watching football. You can't really hurt too much except yourself, right? So be careful tonight, everybody. It's just not worth it. Just not worth it, okay? All right, so a couple of my thoughts, couple of the star chats, then we're getting right to the calls. I want to give you guys your time. Lee Marie, my money's on Buckner. The fact that you wrap up in Hartman discussion demonstrates the downward spiral of what an ND fan used to be. What in the hell are you talking about? You are making things up. That's what you did. You woke up at 9 o'clock this morning and you made things up. Number one, if your money's on Buckner to beat Hartman, you're not paying attention to reality. That's number one. So bad money. If you have money on Buckner, Hartman, one-on-one to win that job, when he's transferring here with 1 year left, you're going to lose your money. So if you want to bet on that with me, let's do it, because Buckner's not beating Hartman, Lee. So if you want to do that, me and you will bet money. Buckner is not beating out Hartman if that is a competition 1-to-1. It ain't apt, then let's bet money, me and you. I could use the dough. The fact that you are wrapped up in a Hartman demonstrates the downward spiral of what an ND fan used to be. The fact I'm wrapped up in a Hartman discussion demonstrates the reality of the situation we're in. That's what it demonstrates, Lee. It demonstrates the reality of the dynamic Notre Dame's in and the breaking news that might be happening. That's what it is. 12,900 yards and 110 touchdowns. Okay? That whatever Buckner has in the tank isn't going to beat that out. It's just not. You can enjoy this. I am enjoying this. Let me get to my notes. But that is the number one question that's coming up from this big picture. That's it. Big picture. Okay. So here's the deal. Number one, nothing comes easy for Notre Dame. Nothing comes easy. It never does. Nothing comes easy. But here's the thing. Very solid win. Marcus Freeman needed this win to avoid the 0-2 bowl stuff. Okay, Buckner, I am beyond thrilled for Buckner. Whatever happens next, good for Buckner. He's been frustrated. He's been injured. He's been having to sit there and watch all of his friends play. All of that stuff. Okay. Let's see. Some of these are moving too fast for me to get to. So that's the first thing. Very solid win. Freeman avoids the 0-2 bowl thing. That's a big deal. Tommy, I mean, you could question a lot of what Tommy did, but you ended up with the win and dialed up something beautiful at the end for the go-ahead score. That's beautiful. Buckner, I love that. All of that. I love it all, man. It's always better than a loss. Any of it's better than a loss. Any of it's better than a loss. And that's the other thing. If you want to complain about things like the officiating, giving up pick sixes, giving up a touchdown on a trick special teams play, the defense for parts of the game, 100-yard pick six when you're about to ice the game. How good is Buckner? How good is Reese? Like, we can complain about all that, and we can if you want. But the biggest picture is Notre Dame did not play a tight A-grade game, and they ended up winning the game against an up-and-coming SEC team, even with some of their guys out and all that. Wade, just good job. Good job. Good job. Like, I say this all the time. There is no substitute for winning. There is no substitute for winning. And so being able to pull that together through the low times and everything else, good job. Like, that is a really, really, really good job. It's a huge monkey off everybody's back. Marcus avoids 0-2. Buckner far from perfect, but got a win that energizes him. Reese drew up a gorgeous play, get the winning score. There's a lot to build off an SEC team win there. And so if we want to get into Buckner, high, low, lows, some in the middle. But I don't know what people expected. Like, what did you expect out of Buckner for his first game back? Like, I feel like in the moment, there wasn't a lot of understanding of some of his lack of touch passes or feeling like he had to press to make up for lost time. Like, I don't know what you expected of Buckner, but I think you probably got it, right? High highs, low lows, a lot of excitement, good and bad. Isn't that kind of it? Isn't that kind of it? Like, that's what you get. But good for Buckner, man. Fought back, went through the bad stuff. The pick sixes, came back and fought. Like, Buckner and Pine. You want to argue they're not like top-end elite quarterbacks, fine, but they were both tough and gave it all they had. And the other thing is with Pine, we don't win that game with Drew Pine, right? Even if you probably give him Mayer, you don't win that game with Drew Pine because there was a lot that Buckner added that Pine couldn't, right? Like, I don't get it. But yeah, Lee, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but if your money's on Buckner to beat out Hartman, I'll take that bet every day. I cannot understand anybody that would look at those bodies of work and then be like, oh yeah, I'm putting my money on Buckner to win that job. No, I do not see it going that way. I do not see it going that way. So I don't know what to think about that, but it is a big storyline. Of course I'm enjoying the game, but I'm looking to the future. The season's over. I'm looking at next year when we don't have 4 losses. And the number one question is, who's the quarterback? Number one question. All right. So it has nothing to do with me not enjoying it or anything. I just said, great job by that guy. I just wonder where this is all playing out big picture, right? I told you. Yeah, drunk. Thanks. Me too. Yeah, me too. It's my biggest personality feature. John, I love that you're a jerk. That's perfect. I just think that I don't know what you expected out of Buckner. You pretty much got it. The highs and the lows. A guy that hasn't played a lot. He's going to make some of those mistakes. He just is. Joe says a body of work in a gimmick offense is not impressive, John. You have this thought that Hartman will automatically transfer into a pro-style offense. Even pro scouts see him as a gimmick QB. What part of it's still better than anything Notre Dame has had or has in the building are people not getting? I'm not saying Hartman's perfect. If he was, he'd already be in the NFL. I'm not saying that. This is all in the Notre Dame framework. Whatever you think of Hartman, it's more credibility and accomplished than anything in Notre Dame's room. I don't understand why people aren't getting that. We're not starting at an equal footing. We're starting with Notre Dame being behind in the quarterback room. All things are not equal. We're not playing with the full deck. We're starting out in a bad spot. People aren't getting that. Notre Dame's not starting in an ideal position. I realize Hartman's not a top 5 NFL guy. It's way more accomplished and better than anything Notre Dame's had that you can rely on in a game. I love a lot of what Buckner did. This is not turning into crapping on Buckner. It's just all coming to a diverging point here, a converging point here where you're going to have Hartman soon, it looks like. And then we're going to see what's up. We're going to see what's up. But I just am not putting my money on Buckner to win that contest. So I don't know, man. You got to give it to Buckner, though. I'm telling you, man, what a fighter. Buckner and Pine, such good fighters, man. They just kept going and going and going. And Buckner never gave up. It was beautiful. Kent Jackson, good to see you here. Good luck to the Buckeyes. We'll see, Kent. Good to see you here. I'm thinking of you today. I'm sure you're nervous pacing around there in Ohio. I assume you're in Ohio somewhere. So you want to talk about that offense, and then some of you want to talk about Buckner and we don't agree. Talk about Reese and we don't agree even more. I still have half of these people that think Reese is terrible, should be gone today, and the other half think he's great, and this offense is going to take off next year. It's wild. I'm telling you, nobody agrees. You want to talk about not agreeing on Buckner? Talk about not agreeing on Reese. It is 50-50. Half these people love him. Half these people hate him. It's absolutely wild. It's absolutely wild. Some of the differences here. Okay. And so, but that's the first thing. Wrap up the Buckner. I'm happy for him. He got that win, and I couldn't be happier for him. He could ride on that all winter now. And I'm glad he got to come back and get that win after that long layoff. Man, Notre Dame ended up running it for 264. And it really didn't feel like it most of the game. 264 gets it done. And here's the other thing. Callers, hang in there. I'm getting to you 2 minutes. Let me get to this. This is very, very telling. I have 2 stats I want to get to. See, half of this is I love Reese, and the other half is Reese needs to take a hike. I don't know, guys. We're just never going to agree on this. We're just not. Total offense by quarter. 1, Notre Dame 78, South Carolina 154. 2, Notre Dame 125, South Carolina 98. 3, Notre Dame 150, 68, South Carolina. Fourth quarter, 205 Notre Dame, 32 South Carolina. That's a good job of finishing. That's a good job of finishing. It really is. And you gain on them with the yardage, lean on them with that running game late, pile on them, smother them out, kill their will to live, put the game away. Good job. That was a good job. It really was. 205 to 32 yardage difference in the fourth quarter gets it done. That gets it done. It really does. And then look at Buckner. This is just an example. Buckner's had 3 starts. Obviously, one of them he didn't get through. 3 starts, 8 interceptions, 7 rush touchdowns, 6 pass touchdowns, 5 yards per carry when he runs the ball, and 4 pick sixes. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Look at that stat line from 3 starts. 8 interceptions, 7 running touchdowns, 6 pass touchdowns, 5 yards per carry, 4 pick sixes. It's wild. It's absolutely wild. Micah Cook says the quarterback room is in a downward spiral. If you have Hartman, Buckner, Minchie, Carr, the spiral is pointing up. It's an opposite downward spiral. It's pointing up. Oh, my gosh. Oh, I'm telling you. Let's see. Okay. All right. I got through that. That's what I wanted to talk about. Here's the other thing, though. South Carolina ended up with 65 yards rushing total, which is awesome. Like, that's beautiful. I love that. 65 yards. You could live with that all day. At the same time, who didn't feel like I don't know how to say this. At certain times, I look at all levels of the defense and wonder, why are we not getting more production out of them? I swear, I wonder that. And I'm sorry, I'm missing some of the chats. At certain times in this game, all three levels of the defense, I'm going, what are you doing? I expect more. I just expect more out of all three of those groups at large parts of every game. That I think the secondary should be better. The linebackers definitely. And I don't want to have to start doing this, but I'm going to have to start getting maybe a Notre Dame defensive line anxiety moving forward. A little bit about where the pressure's coming from, where the run stuffing's all going to come from in the next year. But I'm telling you, at times you're going, all three levels of this defense are underperforming badly, and I want to know why. And then you look at it, and they give up 65 yards rushing. 3 of those touchdowns are on pick sixes and in a special teams play. And then it ends up not looking so like horrible. I don't know. But there's something in me that feels like all three levels of that defense should be getting more out of them. And maybe I expect too much. But I'm serious. Large parts of these games this year, I expect more out of all three groups, especially the linebackers, that you got to do something. Something ain't right. But again, starting the game, you long layoff to prepare, you let them go right down through, you score a touchdown. Why, Al Rusty? That ain't golden. Tell me why in the last 2 ball games, the plan that we prepared for was to let the other team shred us and go right down and score to start the game. Something's wrong, Al. Something's wrong, Al. When the opening drive that everybody's planning for, offensively and defensively, the last 2 times you get shredded, something's wrong. You can't start that way. Check this out. Good morning with Frank. It's a good morning with Frank. I got Frank on my side. It's all good when you got Frank. No, there's no alcohol in that. Did I see Al Golden sunglasses? Yeah, it may. I'm not even going to say it because I'm not going to be mean. I am not going to be mean. All right, here we go. Let's get into some phone calls. I covered some of what I wanted to cover. Listen, the weird scheduling and timing of all this with like the scheduling of these bowl games, it just worked out to do a live show now, and then I'll do my own little show of my reaction show, not the live, probably tomorrow. So let's see. Hartman will be 25 years old in July. The guy's going to be on year 6 if he comes to Notre Dame. He's seen it all. He's done it all. He ain't going to get rattled. None of that. Okay. Yeah. Jordan Botelho flashed yesterday. A couple sacks at least. That was great. Somebody says Big Al scares him. I don't know, man. Again, you want to be frustrated with that defense, and then you see that they gave up 32 yards offense in the fourth quarter, 68 in the third quarter, and a lot of that was on that touchdown I don't even think should have counted. I still don't understand that. The chalk kicked up White. The White is out of bounds. If that's where his foot hit, how were they sitting there? Oh, the play stands. Did you review it and not look at the review? The White is out of bounds. The White comes up. How is this hard? I don't get it. Yeah, the defense did adjust at halftime. And people want to talk about Buckner being tough. Roy Boy Hartman's tough as well. He really is. And this is not turning into John doesn't like Tyler Buckner. John has wanted Tyler Buckner to be the man for like 4 years. Like 4 years I wanted Tyler Buckner to be the man. Something bad happens every time. Like, I want him to be the guy, but I need to see steady results and see him out there. And it just hasn't happened. And so here's what you really have. What you really have is this very awkward dynamic now where Freeman has to protect himself and this program from what happened this year. where you don't have an established quarterback to rely on. You roll with what you think's going to happen. You have an injury and it all, you're in a bad spot. Freeman has to protect against that. But also, Freeman genuinely loves Tyler Buckner and wants him to do well. And you have both of those tracks going on at the same time. And it's a little bit awkward, but I think everybody understands the dynamic. Freeman has a responsibility to the program to protect himself from the dynamic we ended up in this year. He has an obligation to the program to protect himself from being in that position again. That's what Hartman would be. At the same time, he loves Buckner and wants him to do well. So there's these awkward dual paths there, all towards the same goal of making Notre Dame as good as it could be. But it's a little awkward emotionally, I would imagine. The relationship between Buckner and Freeman and Freeman's obligation to protect the program moving forward with another guy from the portal. So I find that very, very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. It really is. Pat says only ND fandom can complain and digress into a diatribe about the top-rated free agent coming to start at Notre Dame. I thought people would like that. I honestly did. I thought people would like that a guy with 8,000 yards the last 2 years and 77 touchdowns, who's been the highest rated win above replacement player, I thought people would like that guy coming to Notre Dame. And then it's like, well, if he was that good, he would have gone into the league. That's not the comparison. The comparison is to what Notre Dame has. That's the piece people are missing. It matters what Notre Dame has. It's all, nothing's easy with Notre Dame. All right, let's get to these phone calls. We got a bunch of them, and I mean a bunch. So everybody, literally, you're going to have a couple minutes. Tell me your main bullet points or takeaways, and we're going to let people get their time. 737, first up, what's going on?
Hey, John. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. What an exciting ball game. If people wanted entertainment, they were entertained. What do you think of the ball game, and what are your big picture takeaways?
Man, I'll be brief because I typically take a little bit of time, but I'm not going to complain. I think that we saw some good things, but I think you got to look at it and say, one, we're a fickle group of fans. We if you're looking at the point you're just making right now, in terms of Hartman, we seem to complain when we lose good players, but we're also complaining when we're getting good players possibly. So it's like it's a no-win situation. But as far as the game goes, we saw the good, the bad, the ugly. Like you said, we don't win pretty. We just don't, and certainly not right now. Maybe we'll move that way in the future because we can. We leave points on the board. We kind of let things happen, but we just don't win pretty. So I think when you're looking at it, did we get what everyone was asking for? And what was everybody asking for before the game? Oh, hey, the game doesn't matter. And this is me too. I said, hey, this is an exhibition game for me. Hey, let's see the young players come in. So we saw a lot of young players. We saw a lot of young talent on the field. And you know what happens with young talent? They make mistakes. And that's what happened. You saw a lot of mistakes on every angle of the field, right? We had every aspect of the team kind of crap to bed, whether it was special teams, whether it was offense and quarterback play, whether it was defense. But in the end, everybody showed a lot of heart. They fought, they had resiliency, and they really took over the game when it mattered. Now, Buckner was Buckner was
what you get when you have a guy like him with not a lot of experience that's been out all year. Really high highs, really low lows. Like that was about what you probably should have expected to get out of Buckner is what we got.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take it over anything going into to this year when we lost last year. But listen, Buckner kept it close, but he was also the reason why we won. We don't win that game, I think personally, with Pine at the helm. But you got Buckner, man. This is the crazy thing. I hope he does well. the problem with Buckner is not his talent, and it's not his lack of talent. It's his lack of game experience. That's his third start since 2019. And he didn't even complete and play his whole high school career due to injury and COVID and all that stuff. So that the kid has very little actual game experience. And you got to take that into account when you look at how he came back and how he really composed himself after. I mean, listen, 3 interceptions, 2 of them for pick sixes. Granted, some of them are tip balls. I'll throw one on Tommy Reese because that was just a stupid play. We ran down there. We were obviously able to run the ball. We had 200 yards in the second half up to that point, and we decided to do a really just stupid play. So I'm going to put that more on Reese than on Buckner. But man, we saw something we didn't see all year as well. We saw second half adjustments on both sides of the ball.
Yep.
That really, really worked.
Yep.
And we were different. We didn't have Mayer. We didn't have all those things. So I mean, you gotta look at it in terms of a positive. Like I said, a ton of young talent out there, And here's the other thing too: we had big plays. We didn't typically see a lot of big plays. I mean,
that's a good point.
How often we seeing Logan Diggs run 70 yards? You know what I mean?
Very good point. And the other thing is, listen. This team had all the opportunity in the world to pack it in. They were down 21-7 and 24-10. There was ample opportunity to be like, you know what, we're done here, whatever. And they didn't, and they fought back. And so, just a ton of credit for Tyler Buckner. Like, I'm able to praise him for scratching out a win through the good parts and the bad parts. Like, whatever's going to happen next is going to happen next. I just have no hard feelings for Buckner, and I'm glad he got the win, man. And, it's like, what did I reasonably expect out of Buckner? I don't know, but I didn't expect 2 pick sixes. Like, whatever you asked me what my expectation was, on the low end, 2 pick sixes wasn't on the list. But you could see those flashes of excitement, which is why we love him. You could see how it opens up when he keeps the ball. Like, there's a lot there to like. There's a lot of moving parts, man.
Yeah, if I would have told you before the game, hey, we're going to play a ranked SEC team, right? So whether we have a few people out, I get it.
Yeah.
We had a few people out as well.
So do they.
I say that's apples to apples.
Yeah.
But if I told you before the game, hey, listen, we're going to play a ranked SEC team. We're going to throw 3 picks. 2 of those are going to come back for a touchdown. We're going to give up a special teams touchdown. We're going to be down by double digits. You think we're winning that game? No.
Yeah.
Typically, we're not. You know what I mean? And with all that adversity, we came back. We won that game, and it's a credit to the kids. It's a credit to the coaching, and so we showed heart last night when I think in the past we were probably beating ourselves up a little bit. But again, that's the young guard coming. So I mean, I expected there to be a lot of mistakes. I expected there to be these issues. The thing that I wanted to see more than anything was the will to win. Did the young kids coming in that are really like a precursor for next year, did those young kids have the will to win and not take that loss? Because we had the talent. We just had to say like, hey, we're not going to lose this game. And that's what they did. So I was happy to see that, man.
Yeah. And
like
you know
said,
what else? Listen, man, it was the antithesis of last year's bowl game in a lot of ways. We were the ones down by a lot who fought back and ended up dominating the second half. I look at that as major, major progress. We dominated the game the longer it went on statistically. That is just a really good sign moving into the offseason, and it's a great way to go into the offseason. It's just a good way to go out. I'm happy. Just because I yell doesn't mean I'm not happy. I yell to get every point across. And I mean, I'm thrilled with this. You needed to find a way to get that win for Buckner and for Freeman, and you got it. Good job. Good job.
Yeah. No, I think I'm happy with the way that this ends because of the way that it ends. Like, I would prefer, frankly speaking, because of the bowl game itself. Now it's not a playoff game. But frankly speaking, I would rather have a win with our new young guys that are going to see the field next year than a win with the guys who are leaving and not going to be here next year. So, yeah, again, I think it accomplished a lot. We came out with the win. They showed heart. Buckner was amazing. I mean, some of the throws that he made, some of the big plays that we saw. Yeah, the kids played 3 games since 2019. Yes, he's going to be rusty. But you know what? Show me somebody who's coming into that game and hasn't played in, they've played three starts since 2019 and had maybe a half a high school career and show me how great they're doing. Again, he wasn't great. It was ugly. It was bad. But at times it was good and it was great. And you saw kind of what he made. Now, again, picture this kid with 2 years of starting underneath him. And Buckner's probably a damn good quarterback. He's a damn good quarterback now.
Man,
he just needs under center experience.
But see, this is exactly what I was struggling with last night. I was laying there thinking about like this show this morning and what some of the angles I knew were going to come up were. And that's one of them that I struggle with is, yeah, he's behind in development. Yeah, it's reps, it's experience, it's playing time. He needs to get it. We are all emotionally invested in Tyler Buckner for multiple years now because he's been the next name we hoped would turn the Notre Dame corner at quarterback and all that. But the years go by and reality is what it is. And so I have to balance my desire to want to see him fully actualized with the reality of like the years are going by and I'm not seeing it. That is the struggle I have. And it's probably the struggle Freeman and Reese have, the same one. It's very frustrating.
No, I'm all for Buckner and his progression, but we can't let his progression get in the way of us winning. And so, I'm watching the game last night. I was like, does this solidify him for next year? No. I mean, and again, everybody's talking about Hartman and the competition battle. Listen, if you think Hartman's coming here for a competition where he's not assured to be the starter, then he's not coming to Notre Dame. That's it. Like,
right. Or the next step is if he's coming here for a competition, he's going to beat Buckner in that competition. He is. So I don't, that's why I'm asking how this is going to go. If that's a competition, Hartman's going to win it. Sorry.
And he should. And again, I'm watching the game last night. I'm like, we have Buckner. I mean, if we have Hartman, and again, who knows what happens, but I know that Hartman's not coming here to sit the bench or to have a competition. And like I said, Buckner played great, but he certainly didn't solidify anything last night. And for me, it was just, he showed a lot of heart, man. And that kid could run. He's got such good wheels on him. His passing is.
But man, he took so many big hits yesterday and he kept getting up. Man, that guy was getting crushed. He was taking hits, especially early, kept getting up. Notre Dame's, they may not have 5-star NFL talent, but Pine and Buckner, tough as hell, man. Credit to them both this year. Tough guys.
I think the team went the way that Buckner went last night. Everybody saw some adversity. Everybody got kicked in the teeth. Everybody gave in on something at some point and kind of crapped the bed, like I said earlier. But then, again, if you're following Buckner's lead, he took hits and he had adversity and he threw picks and he had some bad throws and there was issues there. But like you said, he got up, he took care of business, and we ended up winning that game. But like I said, it was close because of him, but we won the game because of him. And like I said, I will take the heart and the willingness to win over anything else, regardless of what happens in the game, over, some of the other things we could have ended the season with. So again, for me, as I looked back on it, because man, you look at it, you're like, holy crap, this defense is just bleeding all over the field. But man, we made adjustments and we did great in the second half. We didn't really give up that many defensive points. I mean, you take away the field goal.
You got 21 at least. Yeah.
Yeah. And you got to take 21 points off of that. And again, I know we're blaming it on the defense, but because it's easy. And they were like they were all year. They were bleeding, but they got stops when it needed. And in the second half, they really picked it up. So again, you're talking about a lot of young players. But I'll leave the game at that because I was happy with it. I'll talk about the year a little bit and then I'll finish up because I know you got a lot of people. Here's what I'll say. Look at the year and the body of work that was put in. We were 9-4 and you think about it, we started 0-2 and to finish where we did, here's the big thing. We beat 7 ranked teams, we played 7 ranked teams this year and we won 5. I don't know in the past years, I don't have the information in front of me, how many ranked teams we're typically playing every year, but do you think we're beating 5 of 7 ranked teams under Kelly this year?
Yeah. Well, the other thing is Kelly got used to his toughest game of the year being Cincinnati at home. He's not exactly used to having to play 3 top 5 teams in a year. That's the other thing. So, uh, it, overall, year one, you have to have a calibration point to start somewhere. And so it wasn't smooth sailing. There was a lot of adversity. It's ending on a high note, trending up. The arrow's pointing up. The talent's getting better. Quarterback room's going to get better. Don't you just feel like things are trending up? I do, and I'm usually glass half empty guy.
I think the way that it ended said a lot. Again, listen, there's going to be mistakes. That's a given. But it said a lot for the heart that the young kids possessed when they came into the game, and to finish that off for a game that doesn't, and I'm doing air quotes and you can't see it, but for a game that doesn't matter. There was a lot of heart there at the end to win that game. Although stressful, like every Notre Dame game is stressful. But again, let's put it in perspective here, right? So Holtz, his first year was 5-6. Kelly, his first year, 8-5. Weiss, his first year, 9-3. Davey, his first year, 7-6. Willingham, his first year, 10-3. Marcus is right there with all of them. And when you look at those that had the better records, they didn't have the best time after they got into their own recruiting classes. So you have that. You have Freeman at 9-4 compared to others that were great, others that were, we'll say, steady. But we have a good record after a 1 year with a ton of issues in terms of certainly the quarterback room. And yet we have 2 great recruiting classes. Our blue chip percentages up. I think we're going in a good direction.
Yep, I agree. And it's just that's the biggest overarching thing to me is this year had to be something. You had to know where you're starting from to know how to get where you want to go. And so that calibration of year one's complete. The bar and expectations of everything surrounding the program in Freeman are going up from now on. Your leeway is down. I say it all the time. Every minute we get 1 minute away from Kelly, there's more pressure on Freeman. I mean that. And moving forward, the bar's being raised. So that's how I see it. I don't know, man. I just think we're trending up.
Well, and I'll finish it off with this. Listen, Reese, that play was terrible. In terms of the fire Reese talk, I don't see it. I can see where it is, but you look at our point season average was 33 points. First six games we were at 23. The last 7 games were at 40. Considering what we were doing or what we had going on this year, I think that's pretty good. So, in terms of, I think we need a quarterback coach. I think we keep Reese, we get a quarterback coach, and we move on from there. But let me finish with this, John. It's been a great year. It's been a great year to be a part of the Always Irish family. And I did not know this, we'll say, podcast or the Always Irish family before this year. But man, I found you right when you were needed, and certainly appreciate everything that you've done. I appreciate the people in the chat, everybody that calls in. Got a great group here, and I'm looking forward to continuing with the Always Irish family. So, John, man, I always appreciate your time, your insight, your rage, and the rest of the group as well. So, John, I hope you have just a great off season.
Hey, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And I will reshuffle these call-in shows and figure out some morning, some evening. I'm going to come up with a routine for the off season, so we're not going to just drop off. But I really, really appreciate the words. And I need you guys to have a voice. Shouldn't just all be people like me talking. I want to let you guys talk. So thanks for being here every week, my friend. Enjoy the games today.
Absolutely, John. You as well. Happy New Year, sir.
Take care. What a nice guy. He even does his research and his notes. We're not going to delay. Let's get right back into it. 662, we're talking to you. What do you make of this game?
What is going on, man?
What's going on? There's just a lot of moving parts. There's a lot to consider here. Good, bad, and in the middle. What are your big takeaways from yesterday?
All right. So takeaway number 1 for me is, all in all, I think Tommy Reese is a fabulous offensive coordinator.
Ooh, not just decent, not just okay. You're going fabulous here on New Year's Eve.
Yes.
Fabulous. Woo!
But there is, there's a caveat with that. There's an asterisk. There's because you can see it, because a lot of what we do very well works very well when he decides to stick with it, right? Like, hand the ball to Audric Estime, and you're going to get 8 or 9 yards every time you do that. And 90% of the time, that's what he sticks with. But I think it's an age thing, maybe, where he's got to prove how much bigger his football brain is than everybody else. And we're handing the ball off, getting 9 yards of carry, about ready to ice the game. Let's start slinging it around. Whoops, pick six. It's. I know he's not. There's a guy that Joel Klatt is not really super well liked in Notre Dame Nation because he can't stop touching his nuts about Harbaugh and, to a lesser extent, Lincoln Riley. But I do agree that one of the best things he says about what Lincoln Riley does so well is you don't get bored taking a profit. And I think Tommy Rees could really learn from that turn of phrase. You don't get bored taking a profit. If you're giving the ball to Estime and Diggs and you're rolling down the field and the defense is gassed and you're getting 6 or 7, 8, 9 yards a carry,
why get greedy?
There's no need.
Yeah.
Exactly. You don't get bored taking a profit. So, but all in all, I do think Tommy Rees is a fabulous. He's 29 years old. I just turned 29. Okay. So, I don't have everything all figured out yet. I do think that last pick six play yesterday, I think that's a learning moment. I think that's something I don't anticipate that being, that's something I think he'll learn from, I hope. But all, I think he's a really good offensive coordinator. Yes, I said fabulous. And but you can see it. It's there. I don't know what it is. But
wait, if it's fabulous, how do half of our fan base see it and the other half want the guy fired? If it's that obvious and you can see it, we're about right down the middle, man. I got half these people that want this guy in the NFL holding a clipboard, and I got the other half that are going, if Notre Dame's quarterback talent rises a little bit, Notre Dame's off to the races. I don't know.
I think that's just part of fandom. There's always going to be. It's like there's always those. What's that Twitter account? The message board geniuses.
Yeah,
or whatever it is.
Yeah, the message board geniuses.
My favorite one last year was Gus Malzahn's first series as the head coach at UCF. They threw a pick, and the message boards lit up that it was already a fire Gus here. So
listen, I've seen a lot. There are things Tommy puts together that are beautiful and gorgeous. And that final play with the go-ahead score is an example of that yesterday. But absolutely. Fabulous, though. I can't. Come on. Even on the high end, there's not enough consistency of Notre Dame's offense on the high end to put it in fabulous. There are certain things he draws up and they're executed that are fabulous. But I haven't seen anything in a consistent body of high level output work from Notre Dame's offense to tell me fabulous. Come on, how careful were you when you picked the word fabulous?
Well, maybe I just have I don't know those tinted glasses on because he was always one of my favorite quarterbacks at Notre Dame. The guy's given his life to this university. He's not even 30 yet.
Now you understand though. No, wait a second. You understand that that's dangerous to let your emotions of him being a loyal Notre Dame guy cloud your results when he's a coach. That's dangerous. That's the thing. Everybody wants Tommy to do good because he's our guy. We've known Tommy since he was 17. It feels like he's your brother. Everybody, he's Tommy. He's a Notre Dame guy. That's dangerous.
That's true. But we haven't.
It doesn't matter to me that he stood there like a statue for half of 2012 as a player. I need coaching results now. Damn it. It doesn't do much for me that he fell forward on that sneak against Michigan in 2012. I need some consistent offense here.
Yeah, but what I'll say is there's never been a whole game where you're sitting there the whole game, like throwing things at TV, screaming and hooting and hollering, going, "What is that? What are you doing?" It's more of those moments, right? Like I said, where he's got to show off his big football brain. It's like isolated moments, and then it's never just consistent. The you don't hit that bottom on a very regular basis. I feel like, does that make sense?
Yeah. It's man,
Yeah.
I don't know. This whole thing is like consistency. There's all these flashes, and the Freeman era, I think, so far has been marked largely by inconsistencies. There's these flashes of the team playing really good, the team playing terrible, the quarterback playing good, the quarterback playing terrible, defense good, defense terrible. There's just a little too much instability right now for my comfort, and I'm hoping it levels out in year 2. Do you hope for that too? Do you see that coming? That we'll have a little more consistency?
Oh, yeah. If the staff stays largely intact, and we don't lose a ton to the transfer portal, then I feel like next year is if we for sure land Hartman, I think Reese and Hartman are going to rewrite the record books. I do. Yes, Hartman runs a very annoying, very gimmicky offense at Wake Forest. That's true. But the numbers are what the numbers are. I don't see very many bum quarterbacks putting up 12,000 yards and 110 touchdowns in a career. You just don't see that.
Yeah.
So I think if Reese will be a year older, a year wiser, he's going to have his most experienced quarterback, and yes, that includes even Ian Book. I think next year is going to be if we land Hartman and keep the coaching staff stable. That's because I feel like stability in college football has become incredibly underrated and under-discussed. Everybody's off chasing the latest, the shiniest, the newest thing. Even Alabama has not been immune. I mean, they're lucky that they have the best coach and the best job, but that staff turnover has caused problems, and they're not going to the playoff this year. So if Freeman can keep Golden, and yes, I know there's some frustration with Golden, but if you can keep the coaching staff intact, I think that is very, very important and will pay huge dividends.
You could go the other way, though. What if I flip that on you and I say that sometimes continuity is the worst thing for you because it isn't good enough? What you're getting isn't good enough, and you don't even realize it, but you roll with it for the sake of continuity when there's better results out there other places. That's tricky. That's tricky. Like
sample size at Notre, it's only a 1-year sample size with this coaching staff. So I mean, it's not like we're Iowa football where we where we've just kept our son as the offensive coordinator just because.
Yeah. I'll give you that.
Scoring, more defensive touchdowns than offensive touchdowns.
Yeah, I get that.
I think 1 year is too soon to blow up a coaching staff, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'll give you that. That's fair. And if you wanted to say this is the calibration year kind of set up where we're at, like, I'm fine with that. I just wanted to throw it out there as something I think about. It's like, well, look at all this experience coming back. I hear that all the time. Look at all the guys coming back. They're coming back. Okay, well, what good does experience do me if the guys that are experienced aren't that good? Then I have a lot of experienced guys that aren't that good at football. That doesn't help me that much. Experience on its own isn't good. You could be bad or average and just be around a long time. So there's a lot of philosophical ways to look at this. But I think overall, the arrow's pointing up, the talent's pointing up, but we need to find a level of consistency here that evaded us all year. That's a big picture point.
Yeah, that'll come with cohesion and consistency. I think with continuity, I think more often than not, consistency follows. Is my line of thinking, and I mean, I guess only time's really going to tell if that's flawed thinking or a right line of thinking.
Yeah.
The only other thing I want to say about yesterday's game is I had to laugh at as I've been a soccer referee for 16 years, and so when you have a coach start going crazy on you very early in the game, you're in for a long day, and I don't know what the hell Shane Beamer's crying about. Because and I'm, like I said, as somebody who's been a referee in sports for 16 years, I am very much not blame the refs guy. If you were in a position for the refs to take it from you, you probably didn't try hard enough.
He was so mad. He was so mad. I thought we would be the mad ones. What is he mad about?
And that's what I'm coming from. If you want to look at like the blown opportunities, the missed calls, the bad officiating, there were three that stand out in my mind that hurt Notre Dame, that helped South Carolina. Obviously, first and foremost was the touchdown, where his like half his foot is in the white.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I don't understand how you can be an NFL stadium and only have two cameras looking at the end zone, because we only got two looks at that, and they were both horrendous looks. And right off the bat, I'm like, I can see that his toe is out, but the replay official's brain is be like, well, they only have two angles and they're both blurry, so we can't overturn it.
Oh, you know what else happened too that was bad with camera work and the TV deal? Morrison gets hurt. They go to TV break. They come back and they start playing, and they never mention that Morrison was the guy hurt and that he was out the rest of the game. You never heard a word about it. You had to notice on your own it was him that was down, and I never really did hear a follow-up of what happened with him.
And then there was, you mentioned that, there was the phantom bullshit, unnecessary roughness call against Notre Dame on the final drive, which we never got an explanation on. We never got a replay of. They were just like, oh, well, an extra 15 yards on top of a 19-yard scramble from Rattler, like, despite three grievous bodily harm holding calls that went unflagged on that same play.
Good use of you. Good use of grievous, by the way. Credit to you on this New Year's Eve. That's a good word this morning. Grievous. That's very classy of you, Lawrence. I like it.
I like to paint with words. And then there was one that kind of flew under the radar, and I tweeted it in real time. It was, I believe, the drive after the phantom touchdown. There was a play where Spencer Rattler was like 3 yards past the line of scrimmage and chucked the ball for like a 12-yard completion, and it went unflagged. I'm like, it's not one of those ones, like, very rarely do you see that flagged, but then they spend, 15, 20 minutes reviewing it. I'm like, how can he be so far past the line of scrimmage and slinging the ball down the field? And we're just like, whatever.
And the other thing is, I've almost given up looking for holding calls. Like, it's just, it's all the time. They're never going to call it when it's Notre Dame. It's just like, if you get one, it's a bonus, but I've given up almost looking for them.
That's been a thing for like going back to at least 2019, I feel like. Because I remember in 2019, BK and like every post-game press conference is like, this clip we're sending to the league office, this clip we're sending to the league office. There were like 9 or 10, I mean, I get that, there's that old adage that you could basically throw a flag on every play in football because of the nature of the game. But like, some of these are just absurd. Like, quarterback runs one, like, is running around like crazy, which is prime, throw the flag for holding territory. And then there's 3 Notre Dame defensive linemen that just out of like their helmets are getting ripped off. Their shoulder pads are getting ripped off. Like the USC game, Foskey's shoulder pads damn near came off his body. No flag.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
It's wild. Hey, what do you think of, I know you watch a lot of college football. You're more well-rounded in that way than I am with your interests. What do you make of the playoff games today? Any opinions or predictions on those two before I let you go?
Georgia's going to annihilate Ohio State. Sorry to the Buckeye fan in the chat. I still don't know how we lost to Ohio State. We're not that good, but neither was Ohio State. I am so tired of hearing about, this is the year that Ohio State's offense is going to win them. And that's like, when your offense is already theoretically clicking at a 10 out of 10, there's nowhere to go but down. And I think we found out in the Michigan game, and to a lesser extent, the Northwestern game, they're soft. They face a little bit of adversity and they throw in the damn towel. They're not used to having to play physical, tough football games. That's going to be a home game for Georgia.
Yeah, they talk tough. They talk tough a lot more, and they play tough. And that was never more evident than the last game of the year. That's for sure.
That's not going to be a close game in Atlanta tonight. That is going, and I don't like having to saying that Ohio State's going to get blown out. That doesn't happen very often. They don't stand a chance against Georgia. And it's weird to say that Ryan Day's probably going to be on the hot seat after tonight because his record's like 49-5.
How can
But
a guy live with that record and who's in the playoff? I even see Ohio State fans wanting him like not their coach. I'm like, dude, you're in the playoff. You have a chance to win the championship this year, and they're still going not good enough. Get him out of here.
well, you get blown out back-to-back years by Michigan. That's going to crank up the pressure a little bit, including in your house. You got punked.
That's a bad look.
In
Can't happen. House. Can't happen.
And then the other game, Michigan TCU, that's one of those ones. There's that old saying, styles make fights. And it's also one of those ones where something's got to give, because Michigan chokes you out in the second half, and all TCU does is come back in the second half.
Yeah.
So something's got to give there. I think Michigan's probably going to win that game, just because I feel like TCU's gotten just a little bit too lucky. TCU feels like one of those like weird, feels like they feel kind of like 2013 Auburn, where they weren't all that good, but they had like 4 games where they won on weird, fluky plays.
Yeah.
So I think Michigan will end up. Michigan's going to do what Michigan's been doing all year. It may be close, and then just in the fourth quarter, they're going to grind you in the dust.
Yeah, I could
that's
see
probably what'll end up happening there.
I could see that too. Well, thanks for the call, my friend. Enjoy the games today. Thanks for giving me a call. Good to talk to you. It's been a while.
You too.
Have a good one, man. Happy New Year. Oh boy, keep it going. 219, you're on the line. What's going on today? Maybe. Well, if I hit the button, you'll be on the line. 219. Now you're there.
What's up, John? How you doing, buddy?
What's going on, man? Has your stress level gone down at all since this game? It's over and we won. You can relax for a bunch of months, or are you still all worked up?
Well, yeah, it went down as soon as we threw that touchdown pass to Evans. That's when it went down.
Yeah, I was gonna say which touchdown pass. Buckner threw 7. It's just that 2 of them weren't to our team.
I mean, John, it was that game, not our season in a nutshell. I mean, be honest. I mean, that was our season right there.
Yeah, it really was. It had everything. Up, down, good, bad, really good, really bad, everything in the middle, little of this, little of that. It had a little bit of everything, my friend. And let me tell you this, there was a lot of that, this game isn't a big deal and whatever before it. I left the game feeling that it was a bigger deal than I thought it was going into it. Now, a part of that might be because we won it, so I'm in a better mood to embrace it. But I also think it was a very important step for Freeman to avoid dropping to 0-2, and for Buckner and Tommy to have some confidence as well. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, you could tell, even with the players, they feel so much better winning that game. Freeman wants to win the game. It's a little momentum going into winter workouts and spring practice. So as much as we say, which I'm guilty of too, that the game doesn't matter, I guess they kind of do matter for the kids that are coming back, right?
Yeah, and I just think, man, for Freeman, you don't want to drop to 0-2. That's dubious. I don't think, especially at Notre Dame with our history, you don't want to jump to 0-2 in bowl games. Come back, win, really good job. What did you make of Tyler Buckner's night? I mean, it was all over the board in every single way. What are your big picture takeaways of that?
Yeah, and we kind of expected. I think you've hit all the points that we kind of expected that. And I feel like his night was kind of tied in with Reese's night, where it was good. It started out bad. The game plan to start the game got good, then got really bad, where I wanted to leave Reese at the airport, and then got good again. So it's kind of, it's just the whole season, the whole team is kind of the same way. And then Buckner, you can see the talent. He just makes some bonehead mistakes sometimes. The last pick 6, though, I think we've all said, everyone kind of made this point. We kind of put that one on Reese. We should have just pounded the rock and won the game by 2 touchdowns. But Buckner, but we didn't, and it was a pick 6. But Buckner, I don't think we win that game if he's not playing. He's so much more talented than Drew Pine. It's not even close.
Yeah, look at like the design play, the draws where he keeps it, checks into it, and then draws it because he sees that it's open. You're not going to get that. the deep pass to Lindsey. I don't know if you're going to get like, there is no doubt Buckner has those flash moments. It's just, he's so inexperienced. You're getting all the back-breaking rookie mistakes with them, and that's killing. That's just a lot to deal with.
Yeah, it sucks for him, because you love the kid. I mean, the kid's a fighter, man. I mean, he battles.
Him and Pine are fighters. Him and Pine are fighters. I might want more out of their football game, but those guys gave everything they have every single play at Notre Dame. It's hard not to respect the hell out of it.
Yeah, and it just sucks for him that he couldn't stay healthy, because this year was supposed to be the year he got all his reps and development and worked the kinks out, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, it's
and
just
I think the team would have had a much better year if you would have played all year.
Oh, for sure, man. When we did the August season preview videos, I remember saying the number one most important thing for the entire operation this year is for all of this to work the way it should. Buckner has to, one, be healthy all year, and two, get better as the year progresses. We weren't able to see any of it. It was the worst dynamic Freeman could possibly have for year one at the helm, was having your starting quarterback be out all year. It was literally the worst thing that could happen to the program year one to happen. That was it. And I think we've crawled out of it in pretty good shape, right? It's a lot to ask. Tough dynamic this year.
Yeah, 9 wins. We most people thought we'd be 10-3. We ended up 9-4. I think the arrow's up with the talent. So it didn't quite go like the way we wanted to. It was just such an up and down season. And you did it with a backup quarterback. So, I mean, I think next year's a big year for Freeman, don't you think?
Well, here's why I'm excited. You're getting into next year where, this 8-4 business and all that, it's like it's year one, a lot of moving parts, Kelly's roster, your quarterback's hurt, new coach, you're learning the ropes of being a head coach. I hate to say it, but next year the bar's already different. 10 wins. Freeman is not allowed to go under 10 wins at the very, very low end from now to the rest of his career at Notre Dame. Do you agree with me? That's just the bar.
Yeah, I agree.
Like you got this 1 year, like you got your calibration year and all those changes. Now I'm over it. You were brought in here to get to the next level. So the pressure in my mind is really ramping up with Freeman the further we go. This 8-4 calibration, bro, that's over. Now it's got to be better. You're double digits, well in the double digits every year from now on, or you got problems.
Yeah, I agree. That's where the standard's set. It's 10 wins. I mean, we at least have to have 10 wins. That's where it's going to be from now on.
But I genuinely mean it, Adam. I genuinely mean it. Every minute we exist that we're one more minute away from Kelly, the pressure shifts to Marcus. And I genuinely mean that. And I genuinely think it is fair. And so I just think next year's a big year for Marcus. You don't have any of that year one excuse making. You don't have the quarterbacks hurt. Next year's a huge year and a tough schedule to do it against too.
Yeah, the schedule. I know we've said this multiple times. We talked about this. The schedule is way tougher than what Kelly's had the last 5 years. This year, way tougher.
Dude, are you serious? Kelly went from his toughest game being freaking Cincinnati at home to playing 3 top 5 teams and like 7 top 25 teams. The schedules aren't even close. And Kelly should thank his lucky stars USC was in a dumpster the whole time he was here.
Yes, 100%. Everyone forgets that. USC was a joke his whole tenure. That's usually one of our very tough games every year for the last 90 years. And USC was the worst it's probably ever been during his time.
Yeah, it was a big benefit for him, man. It really helped out a lot. So I don't know, man. And let me ask you this. Let's flip this over. I want to ask you, what do you make of the defense yesterday? I feel like they were all over the board too, from like looking bad and then tightening up. What do you make of them?
Yeah, at first it was like, gosh, this looks like the same. It's like the USC game all over again. Like we're never. Is it our linebacker play? Is it the scheme? What is going on? Because like nothing flashes. But then when you look up at the scoreboard at the end of the game, what did they really give up?
Yeah.
We get up South Carolina had 3 non-offensive touchdowns.
Yeah.
So it really wasn't that bad at the end. It's kind of the same as the offense. You look up, you wanted to leave Reese. There was times you wanted to leave Reese at the airport, but then you look up and there's 45 points on the board.
Yeah. Yep. It's just, I don't know. It's just wild, man. And you know what else I'm worried about, Adam? And this was getting to me last night. I was thinking about this when the defense was struggling and all this. Like, what I can't have happen with this project is we've all been so Notre Dame offense focused. Offense, get the offense better, the quarterback play, the receivers, all of that. What I can have happen early in the Freeman era is that offense takes a bunch of steps forward, and then the defense starts to take a couple back, and then you end up at about the same spot, but just with different strengths and weaknesses balancing you out. I can't have that. I need that defense to stay around a top 10 level, and I need the offense to get there, and then you're cooking with gas.
Yeah. Yeah, we gotta, bring it all together. Complementary football. We gotta bring it all together. I agree. 100%.
Adam,
hey, John, here's one thing too.
Go ahead.
Can you remember, and maybe someone in the chat can point a game out for me, but I cannot remember, at least over the last 7 years, have we come from behind in a game like that before? I mean, because in my memories under BK, I remember those teams would just shut it down. Can you remember a game where we've come from behind like that?
It's a really good question. That is a really good question. And if I don't know. That's a really good question. I'm trying to think if I read something about that. It's a good question. Yeah, it was kind of the inverse of last year. You know, we got behind early, could have packed it in, came back and fought it and won it out. Listen, I'm willing to admit this, Adam. Somebody wrote in the chat, John, you were the guy poo-pooing, the Gator Bowl, whatever. I am openly admitting, listen, I have a lot of personality quirks, but when I'm wrong, I'll admit it. Or when I need to change my position, I will admit it. After leaving this game, I look back on it, and I think there was more to be gained from it than I realized going into it. And a part of that might be we won it, so I'm in a better mood to talk about it now. But big game for momentum. Freeman, Buckner, Tommy, all of them.
Yeah. I mean, it's always better to win. If you're keeping score, it's always better to win, right?
Hey, like I've been saying, I said this yesterday. Every game Notre Dame plays is a big game because it's a game that Notre Dame plays. Like, it's literally that simple. This is Notre Dame football. Whenever those gold helmets are out there, it turns into a big moment, or at least it should be.
Yeah, did you see that stadium? I mean, there was a home game for South Carolina, and it looked like it was a huge game for them.
Dude, it really should be. It really should be. It's only a few hours from there. What Notre Dame people are like, we have 4 losses. I have to go to Jacksonville for our family vacation. Like, with 4 losses. Like, it should have been a home advantage for them, just based on the way of the lay of the land.
And I can't even go to Midway and get on Southwest and get a flight there.
Oh, you may as well ride a bike. Don't even get me started on Southwest. What in the hell? You're telling me Southwest, running all these planes all over the world, has a system where they all have to wait on hold to figure out what flight they're on? They can't just log in and do it online? I don't even want to fly. They'll be having me flying in a new Rockney plane. Ridiculous, Southwest. Get it together. Ridiculous. Get the planes in the air.
Hey, real quick before I let you go and get some other calls, what's your opinion on Tommy? Because I'm so up and down on him. You see really good things, but then you just see some stuff. It's like,
here's what I think.
Just pound the rock.
Here's what I think.
Simple. You don't got to get all fancy.
Here's what I think. I think that that it doesn't matter what we think because we're going to get the answer next year. If it's Hartman and Hartman comes in here and ends up being the starter, then you have a quarterback with going on 6 years of experience, a ton of body of work, a lot of credentials. You should be able to run anything you want to run if that guy's your starter. And that means you're going to get the answer of Tommy if you're going to get a high-end output or not. So I think we're going to get some of those answers if this all goes according to that plan.
Yeah, it has to be. If it's Hartman, there's no excuses for Tommy anymore.
Nope.
This is it.
Nope.
So it's what you got.
Nope. That's one of the best features about Notre Dame getting Hartman is I think it's going to eliminate some of that. And I think you're really going to see Adam, how many times has somebody complained about Reese and the pushback is just wait till he has a guy that can make all the throws and has experience. And that's always what you hear when you go after Tommy is just wait till he has that guy. And then I'll say, well, isn't it his job to recruit that guy anyways and develop that guy? You're going to get Hartman. You have no excuse. You better be putting up 40 a game. I want Ohio State's offense, baby.
Yeah, I mean, but after this game, the complaint was just hand the damn ball off. Just hand it off. The game's over. Quit trying to get cute, right? Sometimes, football can be very simple. Doesn't have to be complicated.
Nope, it really doesn't. Like, I mean, you were riding the run game all the way down there, and then you're getting into score, and you throw it right over the middle. Like, didn't need to. Just hand it to Estime or Diggs. Come on.
And if you watch the design of that play, there was someone on Twitter that had a video of it, and, like, none of the other receivers are doing anything besides the one guy going up the seam in the middle. So the South Carolina guy didn't even really move. So It was kind of just a really messed up play.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, the touchdown pass to the tight end to go ahead with the misdirection, everything going to the right, and then you throw it back left and he's wide open to walk in the end zone. That is the kind of creativity and efficiency we've been begging for Tommy Rees all the time. That creativity, using motion to your advantage and deception, and it leads to just an easy play. Like that kind of creativity and execution is what we've been begging for.
Yeah, and then you have that. That's great. It's like, and then you look up and you've complained about them half the game, and there's 45 points.
And you know what else I want to mention? You know what else I don't want to forget to mention? You know, you want to talk about Buckner and how much he has to learn. I believe that first touchdown of his, he audibled into the keeper right up the gut and ran it in. Like that is just credit to that guy, man. Credit. Drew Pine isn't opting into that play. So great job by him.
Yeah, he looks like he's in total control when he's out there. So that's one thing that you really love about him.
Yeah,
he looks like he's in total control.
Let me ask you this then. Let me ask you this as we go into the off season here. I'm going to get some other folks on the line. I want to ask you this. What is your biggest confidence and concern as we enter the off season that you're looking forward to for next year? That's a good question.
Oh, confidence? I think the O-line's still going to be real good next year. That should probably be the biggest confidence. And our running back room. The concerns I have the most, I think, are the D-line and the front seven next year.
Yeah.
That's probably the concern on defense.
Listen,
the linebacker,
I want to ask this, man. I got this inclination we're going to be a little light up front in the defensive line next year, and I don't like it. Like, I just have a feeling we're going to be a little light. I'm not sure where your game wreckers coming from that I can rely on, like a Keeley, Foskey type guy. Who's that guy? I don't know. It's just a little bit of an anxiety.
Yeah, I agree. Watching that, I saw a lot of Jalen Sneed rushing the passer, which he's light. The D tackles aren't really like run stuffing guys. Yeah, I think the front seven might be a little bit of concern. The linebackers seem to do good, but they don't flash like with big plays like you'd want them to flash. So I think the front seven's definitely a concern, and our offensive line should be solid. We're just replacing the guards, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's that you should be trending up here. You should be trending up here. And if you could get more play out of the quarterback, whoever it's going to be, it opens everything up. You're going to have those athletic receivers in here to compete. These tight ends are going to be a year further down the road, and they even played good yesterday. So I think we're trending up, my friend.
John, don't forget about Price that's been hurt all year. Don't forget about when we see him. Because I was hearing he was going to play a lot this year.
Yeah. Wait, who?
He's Price, right? The running back.
Price, man, I'm telling you, it was a shame
yeah.
that he got injured. He was going to make an impact as a freshman, and it was a damn shame. That the running back room's looking good.
Achilles.
We're in a good spot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I'll let you go and let you get to some other callers. Have a good New Year's, man, and we'll talk to you.
Beautiful, man. Have a good New Year's. Be safe out there. Drink a couple cold ones. Have a good one. Listen, I see. What else do we got here? We're going to keep it going. I want to get more people in. We got another 219. You're on the line. What's going on?
What's up, John? What's going on, brother?
What's going on, man? So what do you make of the ball game? I'm sure you were watching it. The good, the bad, the ugly, the stressful. Where do you emerge on the backside of it?
It's funny because when you think, oh, it's just a Gator Bowl game, you won't be stressed out and all that. As soon as kickoff happens, I start shaking, I start getting nervous. And it's like, come on, JD, just watch the game like you need to. But, of course, that's what we do, of course. But, I mean, I was happy to fight with us. I was really just trying to watch mainly the younger guys to see what we're doing. But I was also kind of wanting to see how Buckner played for, like, the future because, like, when I'm watching this game, yes, I wanted to win, of course, because that's a lot better to win. But I'm looking more for the future now because that's just what I've done for coaching for 14 years is you kind of look towards the future in the next game. So, but it's a fun game. I'm excited for the win and it makes it a lot easier going into the season next year.
Yeah, and happy for Buckner. You know, it was not perfect, but the guy has been through a lot. And the fact that he got to be the leader in this win, regardless of pick sixes or not, I'm very, very happy for him. I feel like just good, happy for the guy that he has something to lean on positive going into the offseason. It's been a really stressful time for him. He's got to be frustrated. I'm happy for him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the kid deserved it. And, I mean, he played his heart out. And he took some shots, too, and he still got up and just played hard for us. And, yeah, he deserved it 100%.
Man, he was getting some shots early in the game, too. He really was. And then what do you feel about the defense, man? It was a weird performance yesterday. It started out rough, and then they started clamping down, held South Carolina to 32 yards offense in the fourth quarter. Pretty good job.
Yeah, they did some good stuff, but I'm one of those two. I look at it a little bit different on some parts because just because the quarterback has a wide open wide receiver and he overthrows them or underthrows them or he drops the pass, that's not a good defense to stop. So I saw a lot of good stuff on defense, but I saw a lot of times too that they had wide open wide receivers where thank goodness the ball was either underthrown or overthrown. So that's still worrying me. I think the defense needs to be a big priority going into next year. I think our offense is going to be fine next year, but I think defense really needs to be the main focus for Freeman to really get this in shape and figure out what we're going to do.
Yeah, it's just I just don't want to have the worry that the offense is finally going to turn a corner towards being more of the top end, but then the defense is going to kind of take a step back and then it kind of balances out. I don't want that. So I'm not sure what tweaks need to be made. The linebacker group, I need more out of all year. I need more out of that linebacking group, and there's going to be more talent there. I just need more. I'm not a coach. I'm not saying X's and O's. I'm just telling you I need more out of the middle of the defense. I need more next year.
Absolutely. Yeah. Linebackers are going to be the key for us next year. Have to be. We've got to have some run stoppers, and we just need some boys to go in there and make some hits and the right decisions. And yeah, because we're going to have plenty of talent. It's just he's got to put them in the right spot and have them ready.
Yeah, and I just think big win for Freeman. You couldn't get down 0-2 in bowl games. That's kind of rough. And then you have a young quarterback that would be coming off a loss after he's gone all the year. This is a good way to go into the offseason, man. It's a good way to go in the offseason. There's no way to deny that the talent increase overall is coming. Notre Dame's trending up. and that's where you want to be in the offseason.
Oh, yeah. The momentum of it is really good for us. I can't imagine if we lose that game and just the way we came out and it was like, let's just say we lose that game by 2 touchdowns. What's the talk of the whole year from the fan base and from ESPN and all these other people? Oh, well, Notre Dame and then Marcus Freeman's not the coach. I mean, it'd just be terrible off season for all of us.
So what do you think, JD? Let me ask. What do you think? Hartman, Buckner, you want to roll with Buckner? He's a Notre Dame guy. Bring Hartman in right away, see what we get. What do you want to do here?
Here we go. This is why I called you, John. I even wrote it down because I've been thinking about it a lot.
What do we got?
If we bring in Hartman, he's starting. There's no quarterback competition. There is nothing. I think you start Hartman. You have to, because if not, why would he come transfer for 1 year not to play? So Hartman starts. Now, here's what worries me. This is for the year after this. That's 2024 is what I'm looking forward to, or I'm looking to. Hartman's a 1 year. He's here for 1 year and he's done. And that's fine. I'm okay with that. We did that with Cohen. We're going to do this with Hartman. The problem is, do you give your number 2, like snaps and stuff like that, to Buckner, or do we give it to Minchie? Or do we give it to Angeli, who's ever we feel like the second one? Because if we have Hartman starting this year, and we go Buckner, let's say he's a backup. I don't think Buckner's going to be a backup again, because if he is, that's a whole nother year where he's not really getting any game time snaps.
Yep.
And then what do we expect him to do? Go out there as junior or whatever year that it would be for him. Junior year starting then, and then what? We got Carr and Minchie a second year? I don't think so. So me personally, I don't think Buckner's going to be a quarterback in the NFL. Why not move him to slot receiver? He's quick. He can move. He's fast. You can do run plays with it. You can do those reverses where he can throw the ball. I mean, there's some stuff you can do with him by putting him as a receiver more than a quarterback. So I would do Hartman starting, Minchie getting the number 2 snaps. So we have a quarterback who's at least got a little preparation. So in 2024, we're not starting a true freshman in Carr or a sophomore who's never played a snap.
Right, a red shirt. Right, because Minchie would probably red shirt. And then now let me ask this, though. Where does Angeli fall in all this? I never hear that poor guy's name mentioned ever. So is Angeli already transferred out in this dynamic, or is he like at the very, very bottom holding the clipboard, sticking around for the degree? I'm just saying this room is about to get crowded in a good way, I feel like. But it's going to get crowded, and some tough business decisions are going to have to be made both ways.
Yes, and that's why I think after this summer, and I know they kind of need to figure it out, it's either Buckner's going to transfer and Angeli's going to transfer. We're going to lose one of those two. And that's where I think it's either going to be after the spring game when they realize, no, this is the main guy. I think it depends on Minchie if he comes in and he's just killing it during that, and then it's like, hey, Buckner, we appreciate you, but, you know, he's going to be 2, Hartman's going to be 1, and you're going to be 3. Well, he's gone then. Buckner will be gone. And another problem is I love Buckner. He's a hard-playing kid. He's a great guy. He plays hard. But, man, he's just injury-prone. Do we waste a whole season or a whole summer giving him the number 2 reps, and then he goes out in the second game and gets hurt? Or he goes, you know, I hate to waste reps on somebody on the summer when they know, hey, their chance or probability of getting hurt a lot is that, you know, that's just scary. It's very hard to figure out what to do. But I go Hartman, Minchie, and then Buckner transfers, and Jelly's number 3.
Interesting. Yeah, there's going to be some things that have to work out. And I just, Freeman is a class act. So he's going to be direct and he's going to be straightforward, and everybody's going to know where we stand. So I don't know, but it feels pretty good going into the offseason. For a 4-loss bowl game, this is about as much momentum as you could take from it. Don't you agree? When you're entering it with 4 losses, it's about as much momentum as you could gain.
Yeah, I mean, 4 losses, and it was a decent bowl game. It wasn't like we played against a team that no one even heard of. At least it was an SEC team in a good environment, big-time game, and that was good for us. I mean, it's perfect.
Yeah,
we got the win.
It really was. So I'm glad that we got through that. Now you can relax, enjoy the playoff games today, and not get all. We don't have to pace around for the Notre Dame game. We can enjoy it today, man.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Well, JD, thanks for the call, my friend. Good hearing from you. It's been a while. Good to hear from you, my friend.
You too, brother, man. Take it easy. Go Irish.
Beautiful. Take care. Tell the family I said hi. Have a good one. Oh, nice guy. Met him and his family. They're lovely. 260. What do you know?
Good morning, John. Happy
What?
New Year, by the way, and Merry Christmas. How we doing?
I'm doing very well, my friend. I'm just trying to put this all together and make sense of it. We're a little bit all over the board here. Good, bad, in the middle. We got a little bit of everything yesterday, but the Irish won, and I feel like we're trending up in the offseason. What are your thoughts?
Well, as you stated, Notre Dame football is always an adventure. You know that going into it.
Always.
That's why we show up every Saturday, you know. Having said that, winning is like penicillin. It cures a lot of ills. So I would much rather be speaking with you on a victory Saturday than a loss Saturday. So, hey, 9-4, Freeman's first year. You know, how many good game, wasn't great, a lot of cleanup, but a lot of that is cleanup. It's not lack of talent that you saw.
Mm-hmm.
So I think overall, I mean, like you said, the arrow's pointing up for us.
Yeah, I think so for sure. I think it was very important, first or foremost, no matter how it looked, for Freeman to not drop to 0-2 in bowl games. That's important for a lot of big picture reasons, perceptual and practical. The fact that you got it done is encouraging. And then you got to get into the quarterback discussion. I don't know what folks reasonably expected to get out of Buckner, but whatever yesterday was probably about it. A lot of flashes and a lot of inexperienced mistakes.
Well, first and foremost, with the QB discussion, as I was posting earlier in the chat. Okay. Sam Hartman is coming to Notre Dame to start. All right. The QB competition is not a thing. All right. He's coming here to start.
But the thing, I'm assuming you're responding to the comment I have on the screen. Hartman only comes in if he's willing to compete, plain and simple. I think we're saying the same. We're saying the same thing. Like if you go, well, what do you mean? He couldn't be told he's the starter. He knows he's going to win the competition, so it doesn't matter either way. Whether he was told or it's a competition, he knows he's going to win it, so it makes no difference, Joe. It makes no difference to Sam Hartman whether he was told he's starting or it's the competition, because he's going to be the starter either way in that situation, either way it goes.
Exactly. Okay. We're in NFL light stage now. Okay. You got to understand this guy. I look at it from Sam Hartman's perspective. All right. He played at Wake Forest. Wake Forest is basically an Ivy League school playing the ACC. It is a bunch of 2- and 3-star athletes. They have no offensive line. They have no defense. It is a gimmicky offense like a Navy that has to do something different in order to stay competitive at football games. Guess what? That puts a stigma around Hartman that says the only reason he's any good is because he's in this gimmicky offense. So he has to go to a team that runs a pro-style offense so he can put all those naysayers and that doubt to rest. That's why he's coming to Notre Dame, because he's got to play another year in a system in a system such as the Notre Dame offense. Okay, nothing against Tyler Buckner. It is what it is. The kid has started 3 games. Oh, by the way, in those starts, he has thrown 3 touchdown passes to the other team. He's lost to Marshall. He's got a ton of talent. But if you're being honest to Buckner, hopefully he's honest with himself and realizes he's missed 3 years on the last 5 in playing football. He has got to develop. So, this
is my frustration. We all see the flashes. You saw him last night, the high-end flashes. And you see that he's a good kid and a hard worker, and we all want it to work. But then we all say he needs reps, he needs time under center, he needs all that. But on the same breath, I'm saying I don't know if he's going to get it, because Sam Hartman and the other guys might just be better, and it's a tough business, and that's the way life goes. Is that the direction I'm heading in here?
Competition creates competition, which breeds success. If you came to me and any head coach that's worth anything, and you said, oh my goodness, you have way too much talent and competition in a crowded QB room, I'll gladly take it. If you're telling me we are having nothing but high-level athletes, high-level QB talent, high-level QB play, year in and year out, and you lose some high-talented type of quarterback in the process, it's a gamble risk we're taking. This is a no-brainer. I mean, I don't understand how people can't get this.
Now, what about this opinion? What about this opinion? What about this opinion? Just came in the chat. Buckner's going to play next year every game. He'll have packages like in 21, and he'll be very effective regardless of what Hartman does. Are you open to that if Hartman's your main guy and then you want to run a Buckner package and mix things up? Is that a way to utilize him and keep him engaged if we go down the Hartman path?
If it makes sense in the game. Okay. It's just like the play late in the game, the second pick six. You don't want to force things just because you want to do something. Okay. If you got something that's working, why are you going to change it up? You know what I mean? So if in that game it makes sense, as well as guess what? There's going to be games, by the way, that Notre Dame is going to blow out teams. Okay. Especially with Hartman, they're going to put games away early, and Buckner's going to get reps there as well. Okay. The reason why you don't see Angeli, what have you, because they're trying to preserve the red shirt. Okay. That's why Pine's taking snaps when they're up by 30 points against Boston College. So there's going to be times you don't want to force things just because you want to try something out. So it's got to make sense, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, it's wild. I got somebody in the chat that says Hartman blows. And it's like if the guy's 8,000 yards, 77 TDs, and number one win above replacement the last 2 years isn't good enough for you at Notre Dame, how could you be happy with anything we have? Like, that's the issue philosophically I'm having is you can't say Hartman's not good enough, but then look at our room and it doesn't make sense. He's better than what we have. So therefore, it's a good thing. I don't know why this is not making sense.
Hartman essentially played against the vast majority of teams, the Notre Dame schedule year in and year out, and put up those numbers. If he blows, I mean, I honestly think these are the same people who are pining for Pine, pun intended there. Where it's like, we need Drew Pine. You know, it's like, no, is it just because that there's just that other side of the coin, and we got to just argue it, or we listen to some talking head, and we can't think for ourselves, or we can't think, you know, like metaphysically at the very least, where it's like you're taking a quarterback who has been playing the same competition Notre Dame has been playing on a team with a hell of a lot less athletes, with no offensive line, very limited in all the weapons he's utilizing, and he's putting up these type of numbers, and yet he blows.
I don't get it either.
It's amazing.
But like, we're never like, those certain people are just never going to be happy. Nobody was saying what was in the quarterback room this year was good enough. We all knew not good enough, injury, not good enough, Pine, not good enough, Buckner injured, blah, blah, blah. Then you bring in a guy with all this established high-end body of work, and now that's not good enough too. You can't have it all. Like, somebody's got to be the quarterback. I don't know what people want then. I don't know what people want. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. And like I say in the chat, we just can't have nice things. You know, we have a segment of the fan base. They can have an all-paid inclusive vacation on the sun, you know, down at the beach somewhere, paid by whomever, tickets and everything, not paying a dime, but yet you're complaining on the beach because it's too hot.
I don't get this. This guy's saying me against that competition, he turned it over 18 times. You can't just focus on the good and ignore the bad. Don't be a trail mix fan. 8,000 yards of offense, 77 touchdowns in 2 years. You want to talk about against that competition, he turned it over 18 times. The guy you want to do it has played 3 games and has 4 pick sixes. If you're playing this game, you got to keep it both ways. The guy you want to start has 4 pick sixes in 3 games. The other guy has 77 touchdowns and 8,000 yards in 2 years. They're not close. This isn't a fair fight. You're not looking at apples to apples. You're not.
When I hear a comment like that, he turned the ball over 18 times. Okay. Tyler, how many times did Tyler Buckner turn the ball over this year in the games that he's played? Let's talk about that for a second. All right? I mean, my goodness.
I didn't think this was going to turn into this. I really didn't think this was going to turn into this. I thought we could all just kind of agree if Hartman comes here, he's the best option. I just thought that wasn't even a debate. I thought that wasn't even something we had to argue about. I didn't think it was. I really didn't. This is surprising me. I didn't think that was an issue we had to debate today.
And oh, by the way, Wake Forest, I mean, again, their offense, they're usually trying to just score points because their defense can't stop anybody. So they're throwing the ball a hell of a lot more. He's got no line. He's got less athletes. But again, I digress into this diatribe. It makes no sense. I mean, it's just, I swear it's just a reactionary type of thing. It's because there's a side of people saying one thing, I got to just be that individual who's got to be that person. You know, I get it. Okay, fine. It's like, you know, but anyways, Hartman's coming. He's going to start. Great. We go into a season of Notre Dame football. We don't have to worry about the QB room. Praise God. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, I don't know. Stability and reliability on the high end in that area is the one thing that has eluded this program more than anything else. Now you might be in a position to start building that. And my hope would be it would be with the transfer this year. And after that, we could get away from that and start home developing and growing our own recruits, and they can all learn together and grow together as a young group, a skill, talent, and quarterback. I am all for that as the long-term path for growth and stability for Notre Dame, but they're not there yet. And for one more year, you need a protective Band-Aid, and this is the best one you could get, and it should be good news.
100%. And you're stop looking at a tree, take a step back and see the forest. You have the number one free agent QB more likely coming into your team. You just saw so much talent in what is going to be your backup QB yesterday play such a crazy game, but there's so much talent that he needs to develop. He hasn't played football in the last 5 years. Like, I don't get that.
Yep.
Then you got a great recruit coming in, and then another great recruit. So when Hartman leaves, you now have essentially 3 high 4-star, if not 5-star athletes lined up in your QB room that if you get a developer in there, guess what? That is a great spot. You want to have that type of competition. You want to elevate the bar. I don't understand why you would want to just have a cakewalk and, no, you want as much competition as you can because it's going to rate high tide, raises all ships. Man, that is.
You know what else I see? You know what else I see in this fan base, though, sometimes? Whenever a quarterback is mentioned at all as a recruit or a transfer or a grad transfer, it's always, oh my God, what is this going to do to the room? What if somebody doesn't like we're not used to having a high level competition in the quarterback room. You could talk about having a competition in the Notre Dame quarterback room. I said having a high level one. That's different too. We're just not used to it. It's like, what would happen if we had 2 really good guys that could actually both be starters having to compete? What would happen? What would happen is you would be in a good spot. That would be a great place to be. We're just never there.
Nope. And I can't wait to be there. But I want to circle back to the game. A few things I want to talk about in the game yesterday. As I mentioned in the chat, it's great to see Clarence Lewis getting burnt during the bowl game twice. Man. Mind you. I mean, how in the hell, dude, that fake punt, first off, why is South Carolina punting from their own 37?
Right.
That would be, alarm bells. And, by the way, the rest of the defense actually were on their men. Clarence Lewis is just standing there the fullback runs right down the middle of the field. It's like, oh, my goodness. And then, of course, he gets burnt on the incomplete pass that was called the touchdown. It's cover 3, baby. There's no one short.
Yeah.
Get deep.
Yeah.
And he's just drifting down the sideline. This guy's running right by him. It's like, come on, baby. What?
Yeah.
You know what?
It's rough.
No, but that's what I'll tell you. I give him credit, though. And what I mean by this, there's 3 little things in the game that I really enjoyed watching. And first one, Clarence Lewis, late in the game, Notre Dame figured out what South Carolina was doing. They ran the ball on first down, gained nothing, so they would come back with a quick pass, either little slants, little hitches, little hooks. He jumped the route, knocked the ball down, boom, set up 3rd down long. Great job, Clarence Lewis. You trust your eyes, jump on the ball. Number 2 thing, Jalen Sneed, man, does he need to put on weight. But he, obviously they're trying to get him around the edge because they have no pass rush, which concerns the hell of me going into next year. But he gets teabagged. So what happened on the personal foul, the tackle basically crushes him. It just sends him straight down to the ground. And he was double teamed. So the running back is sitting on his helmet. He's being teabagged. They don't show what happened. So I'm sure he just comes up and just pushes the guy off, whatever, flags fly. Freeman has a talk with him on the sideline. You can tell he's pissed off. That Snead is pissed off, But Freeman puts him right back in. He puts him right back in. He trusts that kid to go right back out there in a crucial situation and do it again. And he did. And the personal fouls, that sort of thing, you got to clean that up. And then the final thing that for me was huge was after Tyler Buckner threw that second pick six. Yes, Notre Dame was running the ball, but Tommy Reeves called that little short out to Mitchell Evans. That's a pass to get Tyler Buckner's head into the game again. Look, you trust your eyes. We're going to set this up. You can do this. And boom, he hit that. It's perfect. Right when he cut open, ball was right there. Perfect placement. Got that kid back, and boom. Play calling, set up that touchdown. Those are those three things that really stood out to me in that game yesterday.
Yep. Really good call, my friend. You always hit everything pretty well and with good direct points. I appreciate you. Enjoy the games today, and then give me a call next week.
Of course. Happy New Year, John. Appreciate it.
You too. Really good call. Take care. All right. Couple chats here. I don't understand some of this. I don't understand. Am I losing my mind? Thomas Perry, there's really nothing to debate at this time. If Hartman comes to South Bend, I think he earns the job easily. Does Minchie still come? I think that's worth discussing. Am I wrong? Yes, you are. Next. I love you, Thomas. I love you being here, but yes, you're dead wrong. Why would a freshman who's probably going to redshirt not come because of Hartman, who's on his last year, his sixth year? Minchie's probably going to redshirt no matter what happens next year. So that it doesn't have anything to do with that at all. If anything, I could argue this might actually help Minchie a lot, being able to be there and see a sixth-year guy like Hartman cook. So I think that would be the angle, is I actually like Minchie being able to sit behind a sixth-year guy with the body of work of Hartman. So it has nothing to, this isn't going to change Carr or Minchie what they do at all. So it is not worth discussing. It has nothing to do with that. Minchie was going to redshirt probably anyways. What a great dynamic for him to learn behind than to sit behind a sixth-year guy. And then one other thing. I don't understand this either. Do we care about recruiting at all? Yes, I care about recruiting a lot. I mean, Hartman wasn't even ranked in the country. Both Buckner and Pine were ranked around 115 per Rivals. Buckner number 6, Pine number 7. Hartman was 31. What are you talking about, Matt? What are you talking about? Do we care about recruiting? Yes, but now we have a body of work against teams. So that supersedes recruiting. Recruiting is what you're basing potential off of until you see the games. Now we have a body of work on all these guys. So that doesn't matter to me at all at this point. Initially, when you have nothing else to go off of, yes, that's everything. But now that we have a body of work, this doesn't matter to me at all, unless you wanted to say Notre Dame didn't do a good job at developing the number 7 and 6 quarterbacks. But no, that doesn't, no, I don't care about recruiting it. I just got done saying Hartman has 8,000 yards and 77 touchdowns in 2 years. Buckner, for instance, has a handful? Am I just supposed to look at it and go, Buckner was higher ranked recruit. Who cares about that body of work? Oh, man. This is wild today. I don't know. DJ, somebody's saying DJ ukulele. DJ's got a little bit of Wimbush and Golson in him where I don't think it's physical, but I see some bad things going on up here. That's DJU. I see Wimbush, I see Golson, and I see physical gifts, but I see he's all messed up and you got the cobwebs in the brain, thinking before doing. It's rough. There you go, no name. Hartman is too inexperienced. Yeah, year 6. He's going on year 6. Oh, man. That's funny. Let's see. John, ND fans are more interested in the ND man thing. They see transfers as traitors. I mean, come on, man. Do you want to win or not? You want to win or not? That's just weird. I'm assuming this is trolling and joking when you're saying Hartman's too inexperienced. He's going on 6 years, man. This will be his 6th year. All right, folks. I hate to do it to you, but I got to run. I got a bunch of calls still waiting. I have obligations. I have things to do. I'm sorry I can't just go 4 or 5 hours. I got a lot of people that want to get in. Listen, the show's not going to stop. So we're going to enjoy the games today, and then we're going to hit this next week. There's a lot of big picture stuff to talk about. A lot of big picture stuff to talk about. And we're going to do it, but I got some life to get to today, so that's going to be it. Thanks, everybody, for being here. We had a large group today. Couldn't get to all the chats, couldn't get to all the calls. That's how you know we're trending in the right direction. Yeah, Pat, leave you on hold. You're the last guy in a line of 50 guys that called. A lot of those people were waiting for like an hour ahead of you. Sorry, I couldn't cut it today, man. Couldn't cut it today. 20 years and he thinks he gets to cut all the lines. I'm serious. Sorry, Pat. I didn't see it till the end. Your name was all the way at the bottom. I just thought you're in the chat. We'll talk to y'all in a couple days. Go Horned Frogs. Beat them Wolverines. See ya.